Hello, welcome back. In this lesson, we will discuss about inheritance, one of the core object-oriented principles. Inheritance is most commonly used principle if you want to extend the functionality and reuse the code without creating or repeating the code again and again. Inheritance also provides a greater convenience to manage the code. We will see these two main concepts in action in a little bit. And one important keyword that is associated with inheritance is extends. So if you are extending a certain functionality from a class to a subclass, we use the keyword extends. Let us take a look at some of the definitions here. So inheritance is a mechanism in Java by which one class is allowed to inherit the features which are instance variables and methods of some other class. The main terminology associated with inheritance is superclass, subclass, and extends keyword. A subclass is extended from a superclass. So if we take the hierarchy of animal and different kinds of animals underneath animal, like dog and cat, so dog extends animal, cat extends animal. Some of the basic functionality of, let us say in case of animals, behavior is defined in the superclass animal, which is common across different animals, and it will be extended into cat and dog so that you don't have to repeat that behavior again in the subclasses. So in here, let us see if animal is the superclass, right, which has this common functionality across all of the animals go into this animal class, and this animal class will be inherited by subclasses such as cat, dog, maybe camel. So different animals are subclassed from parent, which is animal class. So here let us see the terminology. So the animal class here, it's called the superclass, and the rest of them which are extended are called subclasses. So camel, dog, and cat are all the subclasses of animal. So as a designer of this software component, what I will think ahead of time is, let us put all of the behavior which is common across different animals into the animal superclass so that it can be extended by different animals. That behavior will come by default. So for example, every animal eats, sleeps, and moves. Without going too logical, basically these are the common things across different animals. So I can define them in the animal superclass. So these three methods, let us say eat, move, sleep, these are the three methods I want to define them in animal. When animal class is extended by cat, then these three methods will automatically come into cat class. So the syntax will be something like public class cat extends, this is the keyword, extends animal. So here all of these three methods, even though you don't have to literally write them in cat class, they are available by default. So this is the concept of inheritance. We are inheriting certain behavior from the parent class to the subclass cat by using the principle of inheritance. Hope you got the concept. Let us further enhance our learning by writing the code for exact the same example. We have kind of started on inheritance when we are talking about abstraction in the previous lesson. So we have created animal class and we have used extends so that to inherit the properties of animal into dog class. So by the principle of inheritance, this dog class should have the methods of animal by default. Let us see what are the methods in animal. So we have move and eat. Let us quickly create one more method, sleep. Now let us see if I create a dog object and call eat, sleep, move methods of dog class of the dog object, what methods are being called. If you notice here, we did not define any move, eat, sleep methods in dog class, but we will try to call those methods by creating an object of dog class so that we can see how inheritance works. For that, I will create a different class just to make a call, just to instantiate a dog object independently and treat that as a calling class, a class that calls, instantiate and calls the methods of dog. So let me quickly create a class by name calling main. We want to keep the main method in this calling main class. I created calling main and create a main method here. So just to differentiate the class and where it is being called from. Usually you will be creating, instantiating the objects in a different location. You won't try to create an object of your class within the class itself. For initial learning, we have created a main method within the class, but I'm trying to give you a direction of more how practically we do. So here, in this case, it's a main method, a simple main method, but the main thing is, here I want to create a dog object. I will call it as dog obj, new dog. That's how you create objects, right? And here dog obj dot eat move sleep. Control S to save it, and I will simply run it. Run as Java application, and in the output you can see eat, move, sleep are being printed. So if I go into the dog class, now I'm using Control key and the mouse pointer so that it will take you to the definition of the dog class. So Control key and pointing on the class, you can click on it. So it will take you to the dog class. It's an easy way to get to the dog class. So if you notice here, we did not implement any of these methods in dog class. Dog, eat, move, sleep are not being implemented in dog class, but they were implemented in animal class. So even though here in calling main, we are calling dog object methods eat, move, sleep, it is actually calling its superclass animal methods move, eat, sleep from the superclass. So that is how the inheritance works. So we have inherited the behavior of animal into the dog class. That is why we have this behavior available even if you create a dog object. Now the fun begins when you can override, let us say you want to have your own move, if you want to have your own eat for a dog, if you want to have your own sleep for whatever reason, you can still do that. All you have to do is use the same method name and method signature to override what's in the parent class. Let us quickly do that. This is something we are going to learn in polymorphism, but just to clarify, in the spot I'm going to add this eat method, eat, to differentiate the text a little bit, so that when sysout prints out, you should be able to know from where it is being printed. So dog, eat in dog class, Control S. Let us go back to our calling main and try to run and see which method will be called. Is it from the animal because it's a parent class, or will it going to call the eat method from the dog class itself, because we are creating a dog object here. Right click, run as Java application. You see here, eat in dog class is being called. Previously it's just eat, right, which is from the animal class. But now once we have implemented eat method in dog class, this overrid the eat method in animal class, and it called the eat method from the dog itself. So we have printed eat in dog class. So you can override the functionality that has been inherited if you want to. Otherwise the default will be called. So you can see the advantage of inheritance. We don't have to rewrite the code again and again, and maintainability is also easy. So let us say you have subclass dog, cat, camel, crocodile, whatever, 10 different subclasses, right? But if you want to make a change for certain functionality, let us say how they sleep or how they move, whatever, you can simply change in the animal class. So all the subclasses will be affected. If that's your conscious decision. If you want to make a change across the board of animals, then you can simply change in animal, then it applies to all of the subclasses. So maintainability wise, it's easy because you're maintaining the core functionality within the animal class, and each individual subclasses are inheriting the code or the behavior into them. So the maintainability, it is very helpful, and at the same time reducing the repetition of the code. So with this, I will conclude the lesson about inheritance, and we will start on polymorphism in the next one. Thank you.